Hare Krishna. Don't let the mind send you into a waking nightmare. Sometimes, some of us, we may have nightmares. And if we know that in certain circumstances we have nightmares, we may be even afraid to sleep. Or we may try to take what precaution that we can. Maybe we may have some loved one close to us who can wake us up if we go into the nightmare. Or we may chant some mantras, keep some sacred objects close to us in order to avoid going into nightmares. Now, nightmare is horrible, and if somebody had put a spell on us by which when they would send us into nightmares, we would strongly object against them. We would try to counter them. We would at least see them as enemies. But the mind is such a subtle and sinister enemy that it can send us into a waking nightmare. That means that if the mind casts its spell on us, then while going through a normal waking life, we might just get some desires. That small desire may go big and dangerous, and that can make us addicted and even devastated. So we may get into an immoral relationship. We may, on just one desire of the mind, we can get into the spell, and then because of that immoral relationship, we may wreck our family. We may break the hearts of our loved ones, and our whole life can become a nightmare. Or we may just on the spell of a mind, we may start falling for some habit. We may drink once and then twice and thrice, and then we might find ourselves becoming alcoholics, where our prestige, our career, our finances, our health, our relationships, all of them get ruined because of our drunkenness. And in this way, our life becomes a living nightmare. And what sends us into this living nightmare is the mind when it casts a spell on us. These may seem extreme examples, but they are real examples. And sometimes at our own level, we may see that we have we want to we want to maintain our health and figure, and the mind makes we just somehow see some food and gulp it down and eat like a glutton, and then some people try to vomit it out, and they just feel miserable. They feel like bursting, and they are stuffed up, and it's miserable. Sometimes we may have an important work to do, but we oversleep, and then we are filled with so much stress, and we are not able to do well, and we have to bear consequences. So the point is that the mind, if we just get into its spell, it can make our life a waking nightmare. And that's why the Bhagavad-gita warns us that the mind can be our enemy. Bandhuratmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmanajitah anatmanastu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. So bandhur atmatmanastasya, that the mind is the friend for whom yenatmaivatmanajitah, by whom the mind is controlled. Anatmanastu shatrutve, but for one who has not controlled the mind, vartetatmaiva shatruvat, the mind will remain the enemy. When we allow ourselves to come under the mind spell, when we let the mind cast a spell on us, we let the mind take control of us rather than keeping it in our control. And then the mind becomes our enemy. So the best way to avoid the spell of the mind is not just intelligence, is not just vigilance. Yes, we don't need both. We need with our intelligence to understand that the mind is our enemy, and to understand what is right and what is wrong, we have to be intellectually sharp, and we need vigilance also. We need to be alert, but ultimately we need transcendence. When we fall under the spell of Krishna's beauty, Krishna's sweetness, Krishna's bhakti, then therein we get such a higher taste, and higher wisdom awakens within us, that we no longer fall prey to the mind spells. And we, by Krishna's mercy, not only become freed from the mind spell, but in his spell, if we become spellbound, we become liberated from material existence, liberated from the dangerous mind, which sentences us to nightmarish existence in this material world, and we attain the abode of Krishna, which is not only free from nightmares, but which is the soul's ultimate dream come true, because there we get life and love eternal. Thank you. Hare Krishna.